When I think about my Jesus story, I remember back when I was 9 years old, about to go into fourth grade, and my parents called me inside, and they informed me that they discovered that I'm dyslexic, thus that's why I struggle at reading, and that I'm going to have to repeat third grade. Well, that rocked my world forever, and that's when I really first started doubting and actually hating God, because God had made junk. So that started my thirst for control. The control kind of bled over into athletics and other activities, which was a good thing. That helped me become a high school All-American in football and track. I actually made it into the NFL. And then when I was about to turn 40, I remember this like it was yesterday, and they discovered that I had a very rare bone infection in the vertebrae in my spine. We met with the infectious disease doctor, who told me he was going to try to make me comfortable, but they told me to go home, get my affairs in order, told me that it wasn't a question if this bacteria infection was going to kill me, it was a question of when. We got to the end of the 3 weeks, and my wife comes in and said, okay, I'm going to take our 2 kids. She said, I'm going to take them next door, drop them off at our neighbors, and I'll come back and get you dressed. She walked out of the room, and I looked up at God and started yelling and screaming with everything that I had. And I told God, I said, look, God, this was between you and me. My whole life's been about control and doing things my way because you abandoned me. And obviously I can't do this. I can't fix what's wrong with me. I can't heal myself. I said, but whatever you're gonna do, let's do it now. It's between you and me, because you're messing with my wife and my kids. So if I'm supposed to go to hell, send me to hell now. If I'm supposed to go to heaven, take me. But I'm dead. The only way I'm going to live is if you live through me. I can't do this anymore. I give you everything. And a few minutes later, my wife walked back into the room, and she took one look at me and she started crying. What did you do while I was gone? Look at your face. And I said, I surrendered to God. And at that moment, it reminded me of Psalms 23, one of my favorite, and I'm sure a lot of people's favorite. It says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and in my case, even though I laid in the valley of the shadow of death, God carried me through that. And it was a miracle that I survived the infection. You would think after all that I would follow Jesus even more, and I'd be obedient. However, I'm kind of a knucklehead. I'm hard-headed. And slowly, as the months went by, I let control creep back into my life. I often felt like when I was at church that I was a fraud, that people could see through me. And that slowly ate at me. So much so that on Christmas morning, 2019, I had not one but 2 massive heart attacks. They put in 5 stents and woke me up to tell me I was their Christmas miracle, that once again God had come in and saved me. As I considered writing my story, I realized that this was really about control. I finally understood that throughout my entire life, I had to grasp hold of control. I didn't trust God. And then I realized that all this yielding control in my life was to yield to Jesus, and that I needed to trust Him for all things. It's been so difficult for me, but the rewards to have some of this in my life, to have God take over, has been immensely beneficial to both my life, my marriage, and my relationship with my children. I mean, who among us hasn't wrestled with control and relying on God or themselves to navigate difficult seasons in life? But I'm here to remind you and me that only God is worthy of that trust. And I have the story to prove it.